There's the monster right there who was raised in the lies of Mormonism and raised in the lies, the indoctrinating of public education. There he is. And what I said is that this morning I posted the face of pure evil. Breaking news, the assassin of Charlie Kirk has been caught and identified. He's 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, a Utah local. He was turned in by his father, a 27-year veteran of the sheriff's office. And while I'm very grateful that the vile murderer has been caught and will assuredly be given the death penalty, there is no victory here. Or it certainly doesn't feel like victory. It feels so bittersweet because we still lost our beloved Charlie. We lost our beloved Charlie. And in the remaining time that we have, I want to focus on this other evil that was so prevalent yesterday primarily. But you still have these people that, they still, think this type of stuff, is that so many accounts on X and other social media platforms yesterday were accusing Israel and the Jews as having been responsible for Charlie Kirk's murder. 100% baseless, just total lie accusations, blood libels. It's crazy, and yet this evil exists. We need to recognize this. Recognize the pure evil of these people, that they will, I find it difficult to think of a greater evil in this world than people that will stand on the coffin of Charlie Kirk, a great and honorable man who loved the Jews and loved Israel. They will stand on his coffin in order to promote their hatred of Jews and Israel. Unbelievable, and yet it is so real. And so in my post this morning, I also said, P.S. to every single person out there who had a knee-jerk reaction to the assassination of Charlie Kirk and accused Israel and the Jews as being responsible, to all of you, I say, go to hell. It's difficult to imagine a more despicable kind of person than these demons that would stand on the coffin of Charlie Kirk, a great man who loved Israel and the Jews, in order to promote your hatred of them. So go to hell. And it's like, it's not even where I would ultimately want them to go, but I also know the reality that for those who bless Israel will be blessed, and those who curse Israel will be cursed. And this hatred of Israel and this hatred of the Jews, it is the most ancient hatred that still exists to this day. It is a 4,000-year past hatred that is still alive and well today, and is alive and well in the hearts of just about everyone on the left, all of the left practically, certainly all of these Muslims and the death cult of Islam, this red-green alliance that has, been brought together to bring down our way of life and the way of the West. But then this same hatred is now in the hearts of so many of these people on the right. And people like Tucker Carlson and, yes, Candace Owens, they are pushing this hatred, and more than just them, obviously. But Charlie Kirk loved Israel, defended Israel, loved the Jews, defended the Jews. And when Charlie was shot and taken from us by this monster Tyler Robinson, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu came out with this statement: Charlie Kirk was murdered for speaking truth and defending freedom. A lion-hearted friend of Israel. He fought the lies and stood tall for Judeo-Christian civilization. I spoke to him only 2 weeks ago and invited him to Israel. Sadly, that visit will not take place. We lost an incredible human being. His boundless pride in America and his valiant belief in free speech will leave a lasting impact. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. That he he posted that was in the evening of September 10th, in the evening of the murder of Charlie Kirk. And then he was asked about this hatred that has been spreading about Israel being involved, and we wanted to get his thoughts on that. And so Brandon Tatum, the officer Tatum, posted 5 hours ago that if you are pushing this conspiracy theory about Israel killing Charlie, you are beyond stupid and evil. Yes, you are beyond stupid and evil. Genuinely evil. You should be ashamed of yourself. Charlie loved Israel. His critics were no different than any other American or Israeli who questioned things in good faith. But here we go. Netanyahu, Israel was not behind the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Obviously, this was posted yesterday.
Before I let you go, I want you to address one thing, and it's just the absurdity of it. Some of the internet rumors that somehow Israel is behind the Charlie Kirk murder, and I don't believe it for 1 second, but I want you to make a statement. It's so absurd.
That's insane. That's insane. Israel also changes the orbit of the moon. Israel pushes the sun. I mean, the whole thing it's not only insane. I think it's so absurd, so stupid, and so ridiculous. You can't believe that people are saying that. They just found the perpetrator. They'll get to the bottom of this. But they go, they have no limits. When you hate Jews, when you hate the Jewish state, you're willing to say anything and promote all these absurd rumors. And by the way, they're willing to kill us all the time. I mean, that's what they're doing. And over the centuries, when Jews, especially in the Middle Ages, the horrific Middle Ages, the worst things were said about Jews you couldn't possibly believe. We were poisoning the wells. We were drinking the blood of Christian children. You name it. I mean, these things, that continued actually up to the Holocaust. The Nazis said the same thing. We're carrying vermin. We're spreading disease. And people believed it, and every time they believed it, this was a prelude to a greater and greater massacre, culminating with the worst massacre of them all, the Holocaust. Well, since then, we've learned, when people spread these lies about us, prepare yourself for the assault. And, they're trying to delegitimize the state of Israel. Charlie Kirk said to me that, he wrote me this detailed letter, you have to fight the slander. These untruths, these vilifications have consequences. And he was right. But I'll tell you one thing. We're fighting on the battlefield against the terrorists and winning. And he was fighting on the battlefield of ideas. And I think he was winning. He was going to win. That's why they shot him. I hope they don't silence him. I don't think people will give in to these ridiculous lies.
But that's it. This is the evil that happens when you raise people in lies. It always comes down to that. If you raise your children in the truth, then when they are an adult, they will walk in truth and righteousness. But if you raise your children in lies, then when they're an adult, they can walk in those paths of evil. And they will. And every time lies are exalted, violence is the natural consequence of it. Violence against the innocent, violence against the pure, violence against the righteous. And so, for all of these people that have been promoting this lie, this absolute lie that Israel and the Jews did it, I mean, we have to go through this. It's crazy. First of all, we have Alex Jones, who yesterday, and first of all, I want to make a correction there. No, that's correct. Is that this was posted yesterday. This was posted last night when we were getting exceptionally close to capturing Tyler Robinson. And so all yesterday, September 11th, 2025, when people should have been honoring the memory of the Americans that were lost on September 11th, 2001, due to the evil of globalists working in tandem with Islamists. That's how it happened. Globalists working with Islamists. And then also honoring the memory of our beloved Charlie Kirk, when people should have been doing that yesterday. There were so many of these channels that were just spreading all of this hate, looking for anything to prove that Israel and the Jews did it, even to the point of twisting Charlie's own words to promote these people's hatred of Israel and the Jews. And so Alex Jones put it out yesterday with this question: could Israel have played a role in the assassination of Charlie Kirk? Oh, we're just asking questions, is what they say. No, these are blatant anti-Semites. These are people who just hate the Jews. That's what it is. Harrison Smith's source, disclosed that Charlie Kirk may have feared retribution from Israel for his coverage of the Epstein-Mossad connection. Oh my goodness. And then it comes out where, oh, of course Israel and the Jews have nothing to do with the murder of Charlie, because Israel and the Jews love Charlie. Who actually did murder Charlie Kirk is a freaking Mormon. So Brandon Tatum says, cut this shiz out now. You are dishonoring Charlie. Bibi Netanyahu honored Charlie today. And the left is celebrating his death openly. And you sorry MFs are blaming Israel. When does it end? Exactly. When does it end? So here we have Eyal Yacobi, a Jew. Wonderful man, wonderful channel. So you got the Jews. What are they saying about Charlie Kirk and his death? Charlie was our friend and hero. We mourn him. You have the Islamists. What do they say about Charlie? Inshallah, he's dead. Oh, we're, praising our satanic god Allah, that, Charlie is dead. What do you have the communists, the leftists? What are they saying? He deserved to die. They're celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. What about the gropers? These people who hate Israel and hate the Jews. It was Israel. Israel did it. And so what I posted yesterday was I don't have adequate words to express the evil of these unbearable idiots who think Israel was responsible for Charlie Kirk's assassination. You are all disgustingly sick in your mind and heart. You are no better than the Islamists and the leftists that celebrate the murder of Charlie. You are truly no better. None whatsoever. And here we have Benjamin Netanyahu. Yesterday it came out saying that Charlie Kirk was a defender of our common Judeo-Christian civilization. Charlie was more than a friend of Israel. He was a great champion of our shared roots and values. May his memory be a blessing. Yes, because that's exactly who Charlie Kirk was. Is that Charlie Kirk was a truly beautiful soul who loved God and loved Christ and loved the source that we got the Holy Bible from, which is Israel and the Jews. He knew that, understood that Israel was the cradle of Western civilization, that without Israel, without the Jews, we wouldn't have this. We would have no knowledge of God. We wouldn't have our Lord Jesus Christ. We wouldn't have Western civilization. We wouldn't have the United States of America. Charlie Kirk knew that, promoting that reality, that truth. And yet you have these absolute immoral monsters, these demons that they immediately jump on the, Israel did it bandwagon. So what I posted 20 hours ago is, to all the insufferable morons out there crying out, Israel did it, you are among the most perverse people on earth, truly no better than the Islamists and leftists that are literally celebrating Charlie's murder. Israel and the Jews absolutely love Charlie, and Charlie absolutely loved Israel and the Jews. Charlie was murdered by a psycho leftist, as in one that has been politicized, radicalized by leftist ideology because Charlie had the courage to speak the truth about the two enemies we face. Those two enemies being leftism / the Democrats and Islam / the Muslims. He made this statement on X on September 9th of 2025. The statement being, Islam is the sword the left is using to slit the throat of America. The very next day, he was assassinated, a shot to the throat. Charlie Kirk was murdered by somebody that has been radicalized by leftist ideology. That's what happened. He was raised in lies, so he couldn't determine the difference between what's a lie and what's the truth. He calls evil good and good evil, and he was radicalized by leftist ideology. That we already saw what he had written on the bullet casing, including Antifa, the anthem of Antifa. That's what he is. He is a Antifa radicalized leftist. Charlie Kirk knew the truth, and all of these people, they do such dishonor to Charlie and his blessed memory by accusing Israel and the Jews of his murder. And one of these guys that was doing it more than any other was this Ian Carroll. Ian Carroll, look at this. It got 10.6 million views on X. He posted this in the morning of September 11th, 25. Quote, yesterday was a turning point for Israel-U.S. relations. Less than 24 hours and the internet already figured out who the most likely culprit was. He, Charlie, was their friend. He basically dedicated his life to them, and they murdered him in front of his family. Israel just shot themselves. Like, there are no words. Like, it's just unbelievable. Laura Loomer responded, you have lost your mind. Claiming that Charlie Kirk was killed by Israel with no evidence, you are a monster. Your legacy will be that of a rabid Jew hater. We will remember Charlie for the American patriot he was and all he did to speak truth to power about the threat of communism and Islamism in the West. Once again, like Laura Loomer knows. She understands. She's like, who are the two enemies? Communism, leftism, and Islam. Those are the two enemies. Charlie knew that. Laura knows that. I know that. Anyone who doesn't know that, then you are not of the truth. You are of the lie. Certainly these people that accuse Israel of the murder of Charlie Kirk. Laura says, I swear to God, these Jew haters are the most evil people in our country. They live to sow division and spread blood libel. Stop it. Just stop with your bullshit. We have Insurrection Barbie, who stated, it's not lost on me that Charlie Kirk, one of the last big names who wouldn't be bullied into dropping his support for Israel, was killed the day before 9/11 and the day after Israel destroyed Hamas leadership. How do I know I'm on the right track? The accounts that are already saying Israel did this. So many people, they were saying, Israel did it, Israel did it. You always accuse your enemy of what you yourself are doing. Well, if you are a communist, Marxist, jihadist, once again, she knows the connection. She knows the enemy. She knows what it's all about. Communism, Marxism, leftism in general, and jihadists. Islam. It's what it is. And so to that, I said, there is such an evil, perverse sickness in this world that festers in the hearts of so many millions, and that sickness has a name, anti-Semitism. For those spreading the disgraceful lie that Israel did it, you bring nothing but shame to the great name of Charlie Kirk and everything he fought for. You people are absolutely shameful. So this fool thinks they killed Charlie, yet the biggest anti-Semitic people in America, they leave alone. Louis Farrakhan has been hating Jews for decades. This individual right here, he's been hating Jews for decades, yet he's still alive and well. Yeah, it's like, you know how many people have been hating the Jews and hating Israel for decades? Mossad hasn't taken any of them out. Like, why is Tucker Carlson still alive? Why is Candace Owens still alive? These people that reach millions, many millions of people, and they spread their hatred of Israel and the Jews. Why hasn't Mossad taken them out? Oh, that's right, because they don't do that. You want to see the love? You want to see the love that Israel and the Jews have for Charlie? This mural in Israel was made to honor Charlie Kirk. His legacy must live on. The first mural made to honor the man, the spiritual titan that is Charlie Kirk. The first mural in the world is in Israel.
This right there behind me is a mural in honor of Charlie Kirk. This could be the first mural in his honor in the world, and it's here in Israel. This is how much he meant to us, because he was a champion of the Judeo-Christian alliance. He was a staunch friend of Israel, and we will never forget those that stand for the truth. So we honor his memory, and from here we vow to stand together for the truth, because we are under attack, not just in Israel, but globally. The truth is under attack. Let's stand together and let Charlie Kirk's legacy live on.
And his legacy will live on. Charlie Kirk's legacy will absolutely live on because the truth endures forever. Lies and the speakers of lies, these liars, they are the ones that are destroyed. Lies die. Truth endures. So to that, I said, Charlie Kirk loved the Jews in Israel, and he is absolutely loved by them. God's heaviest curses be upon everyone who's spreading the shameful, baseless lie that Israel did it. Israel did it. You dishonor Charlie's name and legacy. Yeah, Charlie Kirk loved Israel and the Jewish people.
I've been to Israel twice. I love Israel. I love Israel, the place. I love Israel as it protects access to biblical archaeology. I'm not an unapologetic defender of the government of Israel, and I want to make sure that's clear. But I am a defender of the nation state of Israel to exist as a homeland for the Jewish people. I've been to Israel twice. I love it.
Now, Charlie Kirk, like all of us, you can question some aspects of certain decisions made by Israeli government because it's a government. It's a government of men, and men make mistakes, obviously. But when it comes to Israel, the land as a homeland for the Jews, he's a staunch defender of that, always has been. Quote, I am a defender of Israel as a homeland for the Jewish people. Charlie Kirk loved Israel and the Jewish people. Absolutely. Ben Shapiro, he also yesterday, I mean, he dropped the F-bomb too, publicly. And it's like, sometimes it's just necessary. With all of these people, to those who seek to intimidate us, who think they can violently threaten and kill people who speak freely, I have two words. F you. We will not stop telling the truth. Most certainly. How about this? So here's our beloved Charlie, and Charlie Kirk's message to Jewish students. He says, I love you guys. Honor the Sabbath. Honor the Shabbat. 6 days you shall work, and 1 day you should rest. He's such a beautiful man.
Jewish students in universities across the country.
I love you guys. Honor the Shabbat. 6 days you shall work, and 1 day you shall rest.
My man, I love it.
Remember the Lord your God who delivered you out of the house of bondage of Egypt. Exodus 20. I want you to repeat this.
Jewish students in universities.
Oh, yeah. You know, Israel did it. Israel did it. It's, oh my gosh, there's just no way. Now, I do very much so love what Representative Clay Higgins is pushing for, that for all of these people that were celebrating the murder of Charlie Kirk, that all of their accounts should be deactivated and these people should be banned from all social media permanently. It's like, absolutely. That freedom of speech does not include threatening human beings with physical harm and death, and it doesn't include you celebrating when a good man is assassinated, when he's murdered. And so I absolutely support Representative Clay Higgins in his push to absolutely get rid of all of these accounts that I'm going to lean forward in this fight, demanding that big tech have zero tolerance for violent political hate content, the user to be banned from all platforms forever, 100%. So I applaud Clay Higgins for that, and I just pray to God that he will continue and be successful in that. So here we have Ian Carroll once again, and we have this individual responding that what a vile piece of shiz. Everybody knew you would somehow accuse Israel. Charlie was one of the greatest friends of Israel in America. He was about to go on a trip to Israel, invited by Prime Minister Netanyahu. You hated him when he was alive. You hate him while he is dead, and use his death. You use the death of Charlie Kirk to promote your hate of Israel. I can't think of, something more vile. It's just unbelievable. But here we have Vice President J.D. Vance carrying Charlie Kirk's coffin after landing back in Charlie's home of Phoenix, Arizona. That they carried the coffin. And of course, we have beautiful Erica, Charlie's wife, there in the background. And so we pray for Erica. We pray for the Kirk family. And then I said, we love you, Charlie. Rest in the glory of Christ, faithful servant. Ian Carroll once again, but a reply to it. This post is a turning point for your soul. Get on your knees and beg God for forgiveness for your hatred of Israel and the Jewish people and your depraved desire to scapegoat them for every act of evil. And that's what these people do. For every act of evil, they use the Jews as the scapegoat. They're the ones who did it. And here we have Charlie Kirk perfectly breaking down how people who blame everything on the Jews are just projecting. We got to give this a watch. It's so good.
Thank you for coming, Charlie. And I had a quick question about anti-Semitism online. Another question here they asked about Candace Owens, and I'm a big fan of you. I was a big fan of her, but she's obviously been going down this anti-Semitic bent. And through her, I'm kind of finding out about these other characters online, like Nick, for instance. I'm sure you've heard of him. And these people, they've been active for a long time, and it seems like they've just been ignored, which is working, but now they're kind of surging in popularity. And as someone who, I enjoy watching your debates, are they people you'd be willing to engage with and maybe shut them down in a way through a debate or something like that?
Well, I mean, I'll get to debate Candace. But no, look, I'll debate anybody that shows up at our campus events first and foremost. But I do want to take what you say and extrapolate that there is a corner of the internet of people that want to point and blame the Jews for all their problems. Everybody, this is demonic and it's from the pit of hell.
From Charlie Kirk himself, that for these people who want to blame the Jews for everything, it is demonic and from the pit of hell.
It should not be tolerated. Period. Everybody heard the internet of people that want to point and blame the Jews for all their problems. Everybody, this is demonic and it's from the pit of hell. And it should not be tolerated. Period. But it goes to a structural problem of an entire generation that has economic resentment. They don't own anything. They're not getting married. They're not having children. They're depressed. They're anxious. They're staring at their screens all day long. And if all of a sudden your extrapolation of all that is, well, it's the Jews' fault, that is sloppy and shallow thinking. And not only that, they say, oh, it's the Jews' fault. Okay, let's kind of play this out. Well, tuberculosis, that used to kill about 1 billion people. You know, it's a group of Jewish scientists that came up with the antibiotic that cured tuberculosis. How about CPR, the MRI machine? You know, there's over 500 million lives that were saved over the last 50 years because of people that were Jewish scientists that were working on things. They'll never say thank you to the Jews, but they'll always say shame on the Jews. It's weird how that works. And finally, they always blame the Jews for stuff. Jewish people are an ethnicity. So therefore, definitionally, you have people that are secular, orthodox, religious, that are all over the spectrum. You're trying to blame an entire ethnicity for a singular problem. Hold on, let's take a step back here. Instead of that, what could you possibly do in your own personal life to improve your own state of being? If you are blaming 0.02% of the world's population for all of your problems, that is not going to be good for your soul. It's not good for your psychology. It's not good for your future in any way, shape, or form. And so I would just say this, that any young person that goes into this hyper online brain rot, you are serving yourself over to your own demise. You are serving yourself into a suicide mission that will not make you happier and not make you healthier. Instead, here's what your attitude should be. Your attitude should be like, I can't own stuff, I got it, can't own a home, I'm not getting married, I don't know who to date. Said, wow, the challenges are immense. I'm going to now overcome all those challenges and go on an adventure. I'm going to prove everyone wrong. I'm now not going to be a victim. I'm going to be a victor. I'm going to dig deep. This is still a great country. This is a free country. I'm going to use my agency. I'm going to use my ability. And I'm not just going to go point in the corner and be like, I'm overweight because of the Jews. Women don't want to date me because of the Jews. How about this? As Jordan Peterson would say, sit up straight with your shoulders back. Follow the rules for life, make yourself interesting, learn something new every single day, and instead of pointing at a small group of people and engaging in this brain rot, become a better person. You'll be a happier and healthier, more joyful and productive person.
Pure truth. Yeah, it's a lie from Satan, from the pit of hell. It's demonic. And the people who engage in this, it is just total brain rot. And so when it comes to all of these millions, many millions that follow, like Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens, it's brain rot. Candace Owens is brain rot. That is what she is. And there's so many more. And getting back to what Representative Clay Higgins was saying is that these people who are making actual threats of violence, they should absolutely all be banned. We have Matt Walsh, who put this out, that a lot of concerned people are sending me these screenshots and dozens more, and I appreciate their concern, but I'm not surprised and won't be going into hiding. We have to be louder and bolder now than ever, or else the demons who killed Charlie win, and they cannot win. You know, Matt Walsh next. Inshallah. Oh, you know, as our satanic God Allah wills it. You know, inshallah. Matt Walsh next. Anyone know when Matt Walsh is going on a speaking tour? Maybe Matt Walsh comes next. Fingers crossed, Matt Walsh is next. Like, it is so vile. This is not freedom of speech. You cannot do this. This kind of speech leads to murder of good and honorable human beings, like Charlie Kirk. It's exactly what happened. So every single account that's calling for violence needs to be deactivated and these demons banned for life. No exceptions. Freedom of speech does not include threatening someone with physical harm or death. Ban them all now. Jews, and then we get back to the subject of Israel and the Jews. Jews across the world literally sobbing over the murder of Charlie Kirk. Islamists and communists openly celebrating the murder of Charlie Kirk. And then those same Islamists and communists spreading that Israel was behind it, deranged lunatics. It's just absolutely unbelievable. At the very least, now I've lost all respect. I have lost all respect for Alex Jones. Like, this year, 2025, boom, all respect that I had for the man, gone. Totally gone. However, at the very least, I appreciate, this, but I want you to notice this. This is so important that you see this. So this is from Alex Jones, where he put out yesterday that there is no evidence that Israel killed Charlie Kirk. Okay? There's no evidence that Israel killed Charlie Kirk. What we do know is that a hyper-violent trans rage movement has been carrying out mass murders and other killings across the United States, right? Well, one of the biggest Jew Israel haters out there is this Dan Blazarian, okay? This guy is totally vile. And his response to Alex Jones saying that there is no evidence that Israel killed Charlie Kirk, he said, this is such BS. This is such BS. And Alex Jones came back with this sarcasm, this sarcastic statement, saying, yes, everything is Israel, including you, Dan. You work for Israel. And this gets back to what Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was saying, is that it's so ridiculous. It's so insane that, Israel moves the moon in its orbit. It pushes the sun. Everything is Israel. Everything is the Jews. But this is, these are these people. But now, notice this. You have to notice this. This is so, so important. So here we have Alex Jones with the original post. Notice that it was seen by 1.6 million people. Okay? 1.6 million people is how it was seen. Notice the likes on it. 11,000 likes. So 1.6 million with 11,000 likes. How about Dan Blazarian and his comment? This is such BS. It was only seen, as of 4 hours after posting it, it was only seen by 104,000 people. So 1/16th the number of people that saw Jones's original post. But look at the likes. 9,400. So with only 1/16th of the views, it has almost the same number of likes. What does that tell you? That there are so many people that agree with this Dan Blazarian that they just hate Israel and the Jews. And then we get back here to Alex Jones and his retort that, yes, everything is Israel, including you, Dan. You work for Israel. Seen in 1 hour, seen by 42,000 people and only 650 likes. You see the ratio here? You see how that ratioing is working? But here it is. This is the clearest. 1.6 million with 11,000 likes. 100,000 with 9,500 likes. There are so many people out there that hate the Jews. That absolutely hate the Jews. And use the Jews and Israel for everything. Every evil act in this world, Israel did it. I mean, this is the kind of language that leads to exactly what God Almighty prophesies about in His Word. That the day will come when all nations of the world, all nations, will be against Judah and Jerusalem. Judah, the Jews, will be against the Jews and specifically that region of the world, Israel and Jerusalem. But Charlie Kirk, listen to Charlie. Charlie knows what he's talking about. Charlie Kirk, Jew hate has no place in civil society. It rots the brain. Reject it. He posted that. Jew hate has no place in civil society. So I say, my man Charlie speaking the truth. Reject Jew hate. Reject it. And this is truly beautiful when it comes to Charlie, is that we have Representative Nancy Mace, who is, and the only thing that would prevent this from happening is if Charlie Kirk's own family, they don't want this to go to that level. But Representative Nancy Mace is pushing for to allow Charlie Kirk to lie in state, his coffin to lie in state in the U.S. Capitol Rotunda. I mean, this is an honor that is reserved for only a very, very select few, incredibly select few. And I say, no one deserves this honor more than Charlie. No one deserves this honor more than Charlie. And it just absolutely kills me that this honorable man, this good man, was taken from us ultimately by lies. Leftist ideology, radicalization, Antifa, radicalization, and also we can see Tyler Robinson raised in the lies of false religion. Oh. But it goes on, and there's so many more that were against Charlie. That were saying that Israel and the Jews murdered Charlie. But it's like, you people are out of your mind. Absolutely out of your mind. Because when it comes to Charlie, you also need to know that he kept the Sabbath and promoted us to keep the Sabbath. Like this, we got to watch this. This is so good.
I would love to know your thoughts on Sabbath and how practically your family practices this and applies it.
As the wife, I have seen it transform him in a way that is so powerful that when he turns his phone off and it goes in that drawer and I know that it's, he's all on for the family. There is no distractions, and he finally gets to reset his brain. He finally gets to breathe. And as a wife, there is nothing more precious than my husband's sanity when it comes to the echo chamber and everything that he's dealing with in his world. So I have seen it change him and impact our family in one of the most beautiful ways.
I think that to our own detriment and to our own failure, we as Christians have decided to cast away resting on one of the 7 days. God rested after creation. That comes before the Hebrews. It comes even before the creation of the modern world and civilization as we know it. And it says very, very clearly in the scriptures, for 6 days you shall work, and the 7th day you shall rest. If you are feeling overrun by society, you might be feeling depressed or anxious, here's just one way that you might be able to improve. Turn your phone off for 1 day. No contact. No social media, no work. Your mental health will improve dramatically. That is a day to go be with God. That is a day to read your Bible and be out of the busyness and the hurriedness and the anger and the noise of this world. Go back to God's natural rhythm, and it's made our family much tighter knit. And I could be traveling for 5 or 6 days, but if I at least get one good Sabbath with my family, it charges all back up.
Amen. So remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. Remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy, as Charlie Kirk did. Charlie Kirk kept the Sabbath day. And finally, I had one additional post that I wanted to share with you about the subject of these people accusing Israel. And It's just a matter of getting to it. Excuse me. I'm gonna find it. There are so many posts, and maybe I'm unable to find it. Oh, here we go. I found it. We got it. And this is, now that you have that context of Charlie Kirk keeping the Sabbath, seventh-day Sabbath, as the Bible commands us to keep it, and the Jews to this day still keep it, and that's Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. We have this statement, this post that I did yesterday, that Charlie Kirk was a man who loved the Jews and Israel, a man who was loved by the Jews and Israel, a man whose greatest mentor is Dennis Prager, the Jew. Dennis Prager, the Jew, a man who religiously pointed out the fact that Jesus Christ is a Jew, and a man who faithfully kept the seventh-day Sabbath and was encouraging us all to also keep it. And yet somehow, in the sick, twisted, demonic minds of these Jew haters, somehow the Jews did it. The Jews did it. If that's you, there's no hope for you. It's just there isn't. If that is who you are as a person, it's just I don't think that there's any hope for you. And we have this individual, Dave Smith, who is very, very much so in the Israel did it crowd. That he's in that crowd of, blaming Israel for so many things. But even Dave Smith came out yesterday being like, I think this is too much. I think this has gone too far. Like, there's no evidence here. None whatsoever. So here's Dave Smith yesterday.
Just try to stay away from that bad force. And I should say, one more thing that I just, because I, of whatever, I don't even want to get into the politics of any of it, but I did see, Ian Carroll, and I'm not trying to personally blast him or anything like that. I'm not starting any feuds or nothing like that. I've said nice things about Ian in the past. I know he's said nice things about me, but I see him out there and I've seen a bunch of other people doing this, but it's just if you want to go look through it, I mean, it's just crazy. But he had this post about how Israel did this. Israel just murdered Charlie Kirk. And you know me, I don't know. I'm biggest fan of Israel, but I literally just replied and I went, what evidence do we have that Israel was involved with this at all? And I mean, man, if you want to be disturbed, go look through the replies to that. It is unbelievable how people put together theory. They're like, what evidence do you have? By the way, the answer is none. We have absolutely no evidence. There's absolutely no reason to even suspect that is the case, let alone to determine that it's a fact. And all the things people are posing, it's just guys, Jesus.
And he goes on, but when even Dave Smith tells the Israel Jew-hating crowd that this is insane, there's nothing here, and then all of his replies that he talks about, that there are a tremendous number of people that just hate Israel. They hate Israel for the sake of hating Israel. And it needs to stop. And it absolutely needs to stop. And one last thing, I would be remiss if I didn't include this as we bring it to an end, that yesterday, and this is the problem with conspiracy theories, and I genuinely I've just come to hate conspiracy theories because some of them are true, and yet so many of them are totally baseless and completely false. Yesterday, when we did the live stream where we honored the man, Charlie Kirk, it was briefly mentioned that there were these two people that were doing these this kind of weird, strange body language type of stuff. And even though I did say yesterday that there is no evidence that these people were a part of it, but it does seem strange that they're doing this kind of stuff, it's come out that one of these people was Frank Turek. See, I didn't know that. Frank Turek? Are you kidding me? The guy who wrote the book, I don't have enough faith to be an atheist. The guy who defends Christianity like crazy, who is a personal friend of Charlie Kirk. And so it's like, come on. It's so awful. And I just have to apologize that I even, presented that yesterday as like, hey, look at this. It's strange, and it's like, I admit that it was a little odd when it came to just the motions they were making, but it is an utterly false idea. No, the reality is Tyler Robinson acted alone. He was radicalized by leftist ideology, and he acted alone, is what happened. It was also mentioned yesterday that there was this former FBI agent that was thinking that this was a professional hit. It wasn't a professional hit, okay? It wasn't. This is a stupid, evil 22-year-old kid who was radicalized by these lies of Satan, and he murdered Charlie Kirk. He acted alone. That's what happened. And so it does just need to be pointed out that it's a utterly false claim that this individual right here with the hat and then the individual next to him, who does this, kind of weird, body, motion right there, that, these people were involved somehow. The guy with the hat right there, the guy with the hat is Frank Turek. This guy right here, personal friend of Charlie, and a wonderful man who defends the Holy Bible and defends Christianity. And so I just need to bring that up as this is why conspiracy theories are so dangerous. So dangerous. And so I brought it up yesterday, and even though I stated that this is totally unconfirmed, I'm just saying, like, it's slightly odd. I had no idea who the individual actually was, but it turns out it's Frank Turek himself. And it was posted that the viral accusations against Dr. Frank Turek are categorically false. Dr. Turek was in Utah Valley University as part of Charlie Kirk's team, standing with him as a close friend and mentor. Their bond was marked by deep respect and unwavering support. Like everyone, we want Charlie's assassin brought swiftly to justice, but reckless and false accusations only distract from the truth and dishonor Charlie's memory. And that's very so true. So and I love the man. Frank Turek is an incredible, incredible person. And so that's my bad, and I apologize for even, sharing that yesterday. And I just I'm going to be so very careful, very, very careful about sharing anything that is not confirmed. And that's why when I had the information I presented to you earlier from about Tyler Robinson, that it was from Grok, that the likelihood that Tyler Robinson was Mormon is extremely, extremely high. I stress that, extremely high. But then seeing the article, it's been confirmed by a neighbor that he was raised in the LDS Church. And so we got to stand on the truth and only the truth. And when it comes to the baseless ideas and accusations, those things can all just go to hell.